Did you know that there is a specific set of numbers that quietly determine whether you will end up truly wealthy or simply survive your later years? These are not the numbers that people brag about at dinner parties or post on social media profiles. They do not show up on your monthly paycheck or your job title. Instead, these are behavioral indicators that reveal your financial future decades before the results become obvious to the rest of the world. As we move through the early months of 2026, the economic landscape has shifted significantly. Inflation has changed the way we look at $1 million, and many traditional retirement strategies are now being put to the ultimate test. Most people overlook these subtle signals entirely, but once you understand what they truly represent, you can spot exactly who is on the path to financial independence and who is headed for a quiet crisis. Before we dive into the specific factors that almost guarantee your wealth, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you have questions about your own journey, leave a comment below and share where you are in your financial planning. Understanding these ideas could be the most important thing you do for your future this year. When financial professionals evaluate someone's progress toward true freedom, there is one number they look at before anything else. That number is how much money you actually keep. This single metric predicts long-term wealth far more reliably than your income, your education level, or your professional status. People often fixate on their gross income because it is visible and easy to compare with their peers. However, whether someone earns $50,000, $150,000, or $500,000 tells you almost nothing about their eventual net worth. The real question is very simple. How much do you save and invest every single month? Wealth is not about the total amount of money that flows into your life. Wealth is about the amount of money that stays in your life and is put to work. Think of your savings as a seed, and think of time as a powerful multiplier. Every dollar that you do not spend today is a dollar that can grow into 5, 10, or even 20 times its original value in the future. This is why people with modest incomes who practice discipline can quietly build massive wealth over time. Meanwhile, high earners who overspend on luxury items often remain trapped in a cycle of debt. A larger paycheck only helps you if the behavior behind it is disciplined and focused. Otherwise, a high income becomes completely irrelevant to your long-term security. The people who actually end up wealthy do not spend their energy fixating on their annual salary. Many of them could not even tell you their exact monthly pay down to the cent. What they track very carefully is how fast their net worth is growing. That is the real scoreboard of financial life. Income does not impress them because what matters is the overall strength of their foundation. Growth signals discipline, patience, and foresight. And those are the exact traits that separate those who accumulate true wealth from those who merely chase temporary paychecks. If you want a crystal clear predictor of your financial independence, watch what happens when your income rises. The gap between your income growth and your lifestyle growth is one of the clearest indicators of your future. Imagine that you receive a 20% raise this year. Most people would immediately look for ways to spend that extra money. Apartments get upgraded, wardrobes get refreshed, and vacations become more expensive. On paper, you are earning more money, but your financial foundation barely moves because every extra dollar disappears into lifestyle inflation. Even worse, that higher lifestyle now becomes your new permanent baseline. You will eventually need a much larger retirement fund just to maintain that same standard of living. Now, imagine someone else who receives the same 20% raise but chooses to only increase their lifestyle by 5%. Maybe they allow a small upgrade or a minor treat, but the rest of that money goes straight into their investment accounts. By doing this, the full remaining portion of that raise begins to compound and build lasting wealth. This gap is not just about mathematics, it is about human behavior. It exposes your mindset and your level of self-discipline. It shows who can delay gratification and who understands that long-term security outweighs short-term comfort. Every paycheck you receive is a test of your character. The choices you make reveal whether you think like someone who builds a legacy or someone trapped in a cycle of temporary satisfaction. Those who let their lifestyle rise with every income jump almost always find themselves struggling later in life. Their income climbs, but their net worth remains stagnant. Meanwhile, their peers, who are more disciplined, are already financially free. They are often living on much less while enjoying far more peace of mind. A very straightforward way to see your financial health is to measure your savings against your total income. The current data from the Federal Reserve shows that the typical household has very little saved. Even as people approach retirement, many barely have 2 times their annual income put away. It is almost a guarantee of future stress and compromise. Imagine reaching the age of 65 and realizing your safety net barely covers a few years of basic living expenses. A simple benchmark can give you much-needed perspective. Experts often recommend having 1 times your income saved by age 30. You should aim for 3 times your income by age 40. By the time you are 50, you should have 6 times your income and 8 times by the age of 60. These recommendations come from decades of research on households that retire comfortably without fear. The truly prepared individuals aim even higher than these benchmarks. They work toward building a portfolio that is 25 times their annual spending. This allows for a conservative 4% withdrawal rate, which provides freedom without the constant fear that your money will run out. Think of it like planting a tree for shade. The earlier and more carefully you nurture it, the bigger the shade will be decades later. Falling behind these benchmarks is often the earliest warning sign of financial trouble ahead. It is a glimpse into a future filled with compromises and regrets. Watching this trend is like reading a hidden roadmap to your own success. Almost everyone has heard the advice to start investing as early as possible, but very few people truly grasp the magnitude of this principle in action. Most understand it in theory, but they fail to implement it when it matters most. The truth is that time is the most powerful variable in the equation of wealth. Small contributions made in your 20s can easily outperform massive contributions made decades later. The longer your money has to grow, the greater the compounding effect becomes. Early contributions are amplified over many years, quietly multiplying, while later investments must play catch-up. But early investing signals something even deeper than just dollars and cents. It demonstrates a forward-thinking mindset. Opening an investment account at 23 or setting up an automatic deposit at 25 shows incredible maturity. Even if it is only $50 or $100 per month, it shows the ability to think beyond the next weekend. These traits of consistent planning and restraint are absolute requirements for success. They are far better predictors of your future than your starting salary could ever be. Consider the fact that the S&P 500 index has historically doubled approximately every 7 to 10 years. Starting early does not just create 1 or 2 doubles for your money. Over a long career, you could see 4, 5, or even 6 doubles. That small monthly habit in your 20s can snowball into a fortune by midlife. A person starting in their late 40s might need to contribute 5 times as much money just to reach the same goal. Time is a variable that money simply cannot replace. Most people do not realize this until it is far too late to change their trajectory. One of the most overlooked and critically important metrics is how much of what you own is actually growing in value. At the same time, you must track how much of your wealth is guaranteed to shrink. Ignoring this metric can quietly sabotage decades of hard work and progress. Vehicles are the most common example of depreciating assets. They are usually the largest items that people own that lose value every single day. On average, a car loses about 15% of its value each year. That means if you own $100,000 worth of vehicles, $15,000 is evaporating annually. That money is not being invested, and it is not being earned back. That level of depreciation can completely erase the gains from a large investment portfolio. This is why many financial advisors recommend keeping the total value of your vehicles under 10% of your net worth. If your net worth is $100,000, a $10,000 car is reasonable and safe. Beyond that point, the mathematics of wealth building becomes much more difficult. The pattern of the wealthy is very unmistakable. They invest heavily in appreciating assets like index funds, real estate, and retirement accounts. They avoid over-allocating their money into things that rust, rot, or go out of style. It is not about depriving yourself of nice things. It is about the direction of your financial life. If the bulk of your net worth is in assets that appreciate, your life moves forward with the wind at your back. If your wealth is tied up in depreciating assets, your life becomes a treadmill. You are moving very fast, but you are making very little actual progress. Another critical factor to consider is the reality of modern housing. Many people reach their 50s and feel secure because they own a home. They see their home equity as their primary retirement fund. However, as we have seen in recent years, Home equity is not liquid cash. You cannot pay for groceries or electricity with the equity in your kitchen cabinets. Unless you plan to sell your home and downsize, that wealth remains locked away. This is a common trap for the middle class. They are house rich but cash poor. True financial freedom requires liquid assets that produce a steady stream of income. This is why the most successful investors prioritize their brokerage and retirement accounts just as much as their real estate. They understand that in 2026, flexibility is just as important as stability. Current data from this year shows that healthcare costs for a retired couple are now estimated to be over $315,000. This is a massive expense that most people completely ignore in their planning. When you combine rising medical costs with the effects of inflation, the old benchmarks of retirement no longer apply. In many cases, it is simply the starting point for a secure and comfortable lifestyle. If you are in good shape across these indicators, then you should be very proud of your progress. If your savings rate is strong and your lifestyle is not growing faster than your income, you are winning. If you began investing early and most of your net worth is in appreciating assets, congratulations are in order. You are not just following basic advice. You are operating in a pattern that predicts financial independence decades in advance. They are real markers that determine who will be free and who will be stressed. Keep at it consistently, and the long-term results are almost inevitable. Success is the result of small, disciplined choices made over a long period of time. In the world of finance, the boring path is often the most profitable one. Consistency and patience are far more valuable than any hot tip or market timing strategy. As we conclude, I want to remind you to check your own net worth numbers today. Are you moving toward the top 1.8%? Or are you following the crowd? Please leave a comment below and let me know which of these metrics you find the most challenging to track. I want to hear about your experiences and your goals for the future. If you found this analysis helpful, please hit the like button and share this video with someone who needs a wake-up call. Your support helps us reach more people and share these important financial truths. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the strategies that build real wealth in 2026. We are committed to providing you with the data and the insights you need to succeed. Your future self will thank you for the discipline and the foresight you show today. Thank you for watching and for being a valued part of this community of focused investors. Remember that wealth is a journey, not a destination. Stay disciplined, stay informed, and keep building your legacy.